All right, hey, this is Sid Owsley from the Determined Destination Podcast, the 3Ds to Success, where we share stories of people who use what I call the 3Ds, determination, determined destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And today I have with me Mr. J. Wells Jr. Jay is a talented, driven, accomplished actor known in his personal circles for his infectious laugh and $1 million smile. Jay Wells Jr. is a SAG Award-winning stunt performer and actor, recognized with the Stunt Assembly for the acclaimed film Black Panther. It was Jay's martial arts background that afforded him the opportunity. He received his fourth degree black belt in Okinawa and holds a Guinness World Record as a participant in the largest gathering of karate participants to perform a kata at one time. Welcome, Jay. How are you today?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. It's great having you today.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I'm enjoying it.
Good. Hey, so tell us how you use what I call the 3Ds to success. Determination, determined destination in your life to overcome obstacles and challenges and to arrive at the point you are now in your life.
I use it. It starts back since I've been training in martial arts and karate. And I tell people when I teach them, the black belt isn't only around your waist, but it's up here. It's about how when you encounter obstacles, it's about how you overcome them. It's not always physical. Sometimes it's mental, right? And so you have to have determination to overcome that. That determines your destiny, because had I stopped training karate, I wouldn't have been afforded the opportunity I got to be in Black Panther.
That's awesome, man. That determination you had to train in karate, to discipline yourself, to black belt. As you said, it afforded you opportunity and doors open up. So give us some background. Give us some background on yourself, how you got started, where you're from, things like that.
I'm from the fabulous city of Jacksonville, Florida. Down there, we don't say Jacksonville, though. We say Duval. We shout out the county, not the city. So I'm from there. So I've been up in Atlanta for about 5 years. I came in for the entertainment industry. And when I started speaking about that opportunity that I got to be in Black Panther and how that affected it. And I use that to motivate people, because one of the things I say is that your passion will make way for your purpose. And so I got a chance to be in the movie not because of my fine acting skills, because I'm such a thespian, but my martial arts ability paved the way for me to be able to be in that movie as a stunt performer, which in turn opened the door for me to be able to do other things inside the movie industry, including act, which I've been practicing and training in. And so I tell people, you can't shy away from what's inside of you, right? So you gotta, whatever it is that you like to do and enjoy, lean into it, practice, become better at it, because it's gonna pave the way and open the door for you in other avenues and areas that you're trying to get to and attain.
That's great. That's right. So tell me how your discipline, what you learned in the martial arts, how that has transferred over into what you're doing now with your acting and stunt work.
A lot. It's one, just the training, just the discipline and the repetition that you put in training in karate is very applicable to other areas in your life, right? One, fitness, strong mind, strong body, strong spirit, all that is present inside the arts in karate. And when you put those together, you can really apply them in other areas. One of the people that I read, Musashi Miyamoto, he's a famous samurai from Japan, undefeated. And if you're a samurai, you got to go undefeated. Otherwise, when you lose, you ain't here no more. And so one of the things he says, his philosophy is the philosophy of winning. And he says 1 man can beat 10 men. 10 men can beat 100 men, right? And in the contest and when the struggle for your life, don't don't die not having used all your weapons and everything at your disposal. And really, what that philosophy told me is that the concept that itself is saying the principles that you use in one area are very applicable, can be transferred to other areas, right? So on the surface, you say, how can one man beat 10 men? And you got to go beyond that, right? It's really saying, like, if you could be successful in this one area, you can be successful in 10 areas. If you can be successful in 10 areas, you can be successful in 100 areas, right? And I learned that reading that book and practicing martial arts. So those skills and those abilities and that training that allowed me to be successful in karate, I just transferred those over to other areas of my life to be successful and to get success.
That's an excellent interpretation of Soshi's writings. You know, like I said, you can be successful in one area of life, you can be successful in 10 areas.
Mm-hmm. You can. Oh,
So
excuse me.
with your martial arts, have you been in any type of contest? What type of contest or events have you been in that's martial arts oriented?
I've been in a few. Early on, when I started, it was near the tail end of the point sparring phenomena and tournaments. And so in karate, they have what's called point sparring matches where you work to get the advantage and be able to basically touch your opponent and score on them without having them score on you, right? And so you go in, you score, you already set, right? And so katas, and that was at the tail end of that era, right when MMA was coming in, and then that sort of thing. So I did a few point sparring matches. I fought in this tournament called Musashido, and it was a variation of Kyokushin karate and fighting. And Kyokushin karate is bare knuckle fighting, where you can go full contact from the shoulders down, punches, elbows, knees, kicks. You can't directly punch to the head, but you can kick to the head. And so I did that. I did one of those tournaments. I got into boxing, and so I really love boxing. And so I boxed. We had this event in Jacksonville called the Guns and Hoses, and so I fought in that a couple times, and got into MMA just a little bit. They had this thing called Art of Fighting. I tried out for that. I didn't make it. I didn't know enough about MMA at that time to really do well in it, but I tried that, and that led me to go to an MMA school and start training in MMA a little bit, which is MMA is primarily comprised of Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. Those are the two main styles that put together and comprise MMA. But you got some guys that come from other disciplines that could do well. So you have a lot of wrestlers, some judo players. You have guys that come into the boxers, and like myself, karate.
And so, yeah, as you said, you came in at the tail end of the point fighting era.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that transition. You know, the difference between what point fighting is and MMA. Some people may not know what that is. You know, point fighting is very different from the MMA and how you transition into that.
It is. Point fighting is very different. You got to be careful though, because you can still get laid out doing point fighting, right? Because you see guys all the time, because it's the judging. It's almost as if you're fencing without using the foil or the rapier.
That's right, yeah.
when you're fencing, right? And so guys will come in, right? And so you'll see it a lot where guys will rush in and they mistime it and they run into a side kick, or they run into a roundhouse or something like that, or they'll run into even a reverse punch and dudes will get clocked. And you got to be careful, because the idea in point fighting is not to clean the clock of your opponent, but you're trying to showcase your skill against that person, and it's all about the technique and having the clean technique, right? So if we're going and your hands are down, and I put my hand right here, right in front of your face, even though I don't make contact, the idea is, okay, your defenses were down. Had he really applied pressure, he would have got you. So that's the point score, and you reset. And so it's very different in MMA, because in MMA, It's the clash between two guys, and you go until either the round is ended, the person knocked out, or they tap out.
Yep.
And it's more, it's supposed to be more of a true test of well, how it started was the what is the best martial arts style. And through the years, as MMA has progressed, people have found out there's no true, really, one style isn't better than the other. It's about who trains the hardest, who trains best, is able to impose their will on the other person. And with that, you have to have a more well-rounded skill sets because all fights start standing up, but you have guys that are stronger on the ground than standing up, and they're working to fight to get to their point of advantage in that contest. So you got, even if you don't fight on the ground, you got to know how to defend against it.
That's right. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your martial arts practice, tell us how you've transitioned what you learned into that, into the awards that you won. What martial arts has helped you be able to do, as far as your acting, other things that you're doing.
It's played a big part. And when I was training, it was hard for me to do both because when I was training and I was really making strides inside karate and becoming promoted, going from green to brown belt and training with my sensei, invited the people from Okinawa, part of our association with the Shobokan, over to train. And me and another one of my buddies, they skipped us a whole belt ranking from green to brown because they said, okay, these guys are good, they're ready. But around that same time, I started acting and doing community theater. And it was hard to do both because when I was doing these plays back home, a lot of the times our rehearsals were at the same time as karate training. So I would have to skip weeks, maybe months sometimes because I was doing the show and then come back. And so that kind of interrupted my training. But God is good because he put me in a position to really converge and bring my passions together because I enjoy the arts, I enjoy entertaining and performing on stage, but I enjoy martial arts and karate also. And so since I've been in Atlanta, I've been able to act and do some different shows, be in some movies and whatnot. But Black Panther was really my biggest breakthrough in terms of notoriety and what people know me for. And I got that because of my passion in the arts. And so I had been here training as an actor, learning how it is to act on camera, the subtleties of that. But I got my biggest breakthrough in the entertainment industry from my passion in karate because I enjoy training, I enjoy working out, getting in the dojo, teaching other kids what I learned. Because my senseis and other people took time to train me, and so I enjoy giving that back. And that's really made a way for me inside the arts. And that's why I tell people, and it was amazing to me that, man, I got my biggest breakthrough as an actor being a martial artist. And so now I just lean into that even more to see where that's going to open up for me.
Wow. One discipline led to being able to acquire another discipline. As the associate said, you're good in one area.
Yes.
In other areas.
And it's really paid off for me. I'm grateful now because now I take those concepts and principles I learned practicing karate and I teach women self-defense. And so I do seminars and I allow women to come in and I show them a few of the moves that I learned practicing karate so they can defend themselves. Hopefully they will never need it, but just in case they have something because that they can use, because a lot of times in confrontations people freeze up because they just don't know what to do. But now you got a few moves and you got a few tools in your tool belt that you can use just in case.
Right. And that's a great service that you're offering to be able to help women defend themselves.
Thank you.
So, that's another part of the martial arts we need to serve like that.
Mm-hmm.
So between the two disciplines, do you think one is harder than the other? Whose instructors, which disciplines instructors seem like they may be harder?
In terms of my martial arts training I've had.
Yeah, between the martial arts and acting, both
Oh,
of them are disciplines,
yeah.
and does it seem like one discipline may be harder than the other?
I don't want to say harder, but it's different in different ways, right? Because in the martial arts, you're really applying your body to learn these different principles. Because when I was in the dojo training, I come from an old school dojo, so we were in there weekly, daily, knuckle push-ups, body conditioning, where we're hitting forearm to forearm, shin to shin. We would kick each other to condition the body, right? And is you got to apply yourself physically, but you use the physical to sharpen the mental, because the more fit you are, the better you feel about yourself, the sharper you are with your thinking, and then in turn it feeds into one another, right? You have to have a mindset that, all right, I can do this, I can withstand this impact, I can stand in front of this person and trade blows with them, I can kick this bat and break it. It starts here, and this feeds into this, and this feeds into that, right? And it's the same way. It's similar with acting, because it starts here. You have a situation, a scenario, especially when it comes to auditioning. It could be be you're playing a character and you just found out your wife has cancer and it's terminal, something to that nature, right? And people are watching you because they want to be affected by what you're showing them on screen. And so you may not have a wife that's really dealing with cancer or anything like that. You might not even be married. But what can you pull from in your life that you can trick yourself into the situation so you can have the necessary emotion to play that right? And so you may have lost somebody close to you, a family member. You might be sad about what you're seeing, and you use that to fuel the emotion that you need. Or you may even use just the circumstances as they're laid out there on the page and say to yourself, man, and that makes you sad. You just tap into it. And so you got to be present, and you got to let it show through your body, right? And so not as strenuous, but you're using your body as the tool and the medium to convey this message to the audience.
You know,
And so they parallel in that way.
okay, yep. You know, when you were describing that, what it made me think about was a kata. When you
Yeah.
look at a kata, you're doing something pretty much the same.
Yep.
And so,
I
matter of
enjoy
fact,
katas. Katas are good.
let everyone know what a kata is pertaining to karate.
So kata is the Japanese term for prearranged movements, and in English and in American they call them forms when you get into those point fighting circles and those tournament circles. So, but what a kata is designed to do, it is to allow you to train the movements of the art in a singular fashion, right? So if you train kata long enough, you really don't need anybody to practice with, because you're going through all the motions and you got to break down what's called bunkai. And bunkai is the actual application of the movement, right? So, for example, we have a kata in Goju Ryu karate called Geisai. Geisai Daichi. So it's the first seek and destroy one is the translation. So the first movement, you step out, cross block, rising block, then hands turn over, reverse punch. And in karate, there's no first attack. Karate at its essence, at its core, is a self-defense mechanism, right? You're not to use it to fight and offend anybody, right? So every kata you see starts off with a block, because somebody's come against you to attack you. You defend yourself and you counterattack if you need be. And so you practice these movements, and it's comparable to shadow boxing and boxing, right? You see guys in the gym just warming up to go a few rounds, jab, cross, hook, slip, cross, hook, uppercut, slip, block. They're going through an imaginary fight in their mind, imagining, the guy's right here, bop, bop. He throws back, I cover up, I slip, I come back, and you're going through the movements, you're training your mind, right? You're visualizing what your success is going to be in the ring. And it's a similar way with kata. You're visualizing this confrontation that you're having with this person and what the movement's going to be and how you're going to react to it. And you're training those reactions and those movements that you'll have them when you need them. And that goes back to what we do as motivating people and speaking to them. Visualization is a powerful tool. You got to be able to see it here before it's expressed here or out here, right? So you got to guard your mind. You got to train your mind to see what you want to see, to do what you want to do, so that way it can direct your body to do what you need to do.
Excellent. So you mentioned the speaking. You're in the Les Brown Power Voice program. Tell us
Yeah.
about that, how and why you got into it, and any martial arts application.
The martial arts application, I would say, is the repetition and the practice. And let me back up. Let me answer your first question. So I got into it because I always wanted to speak. Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers. I've been listening to him for years. And when he opened up, last year now, to take on a few speakers to teach them to do what he does, I had to jump on the opportunity. And I had to start speaking at different venues locally, but I needed to get better at it. And who better to learn from than Les Brown?
Right.
And so going through the Power Voice training and learning from Les Brown and learning how he does what he does, it took what I was doing from here to here. Because you can look, it's funny because you can look at something for years and still not completely understand it. And I've been looking at Les Brown for years, but I didn't understand how he was using his tools to motivate me and others. I got that from the Power Voice training. It really showed me and taught me how to use my voice to the greatest effect. And I got into it with, I would say, how it relates, because Mr. Brown says something that I got from him. He says, some people feel like things happen to them, or you can feel like something happens for you, right? And so prior to me starting the Power Voice training, I was working on a film. I was trying to do a stunt. I should have got somebody else to do it, so I got to bear responsibility for that. But I injured myself. And so I was hurt. And I said to myself, man, what am I going to do? So then I had to shift gears from what I could do physically to what I could do in other areas to still be effective. I still got the job done. I booked another gig after that where I was a stunt coordinator for that. And I was still able to do it even though I was injured and recovering. And so then I had to really earn what I tell other people. The black belt isn't around your waist. It's around your mind. How are you going to overcome these obstacles? And so this injury was an obstacle. How am I going to overcome it? Right? And so I think I did a pretty good job of overcoming what that obstacle was with the injury and overcoming it. And use my black belt, not just here, but here.
Oh, that's great. So your stunt work, was Black Panther your first introduction to stunt work? Was that the door that opened up things for you, or did you get in stunt work even before that?
It was my first introduction, right? And so it's funny, for martial artists, that's the transition into your martial arts career. If you're not fighting or you're done competing or whatnot, what do you do with the skill set you have? And so a lot of martial artists, they do stunt work. That's the transition, because stunt work, I would probably venture to say 80% of it is martial arts, because you're watching people fight and get thrown around on screen. Then the other 20% is high level stuff. High falls, fire burns, stair falls, car crashes, driving, weapons, all kind of stuff comprises the other 20% of what you see in stunt work. So I'm acting, but I want to use the skill set as well in that stunt work. I didn't know quite how to get into it, but I met people that kind of guided me to who to train with, where to go. And I had done some independent stuff, right? But Black Panther was my first major introduction into the stunt world and made me a SAG member and opened the doors for me. And it really taught me some of the other stuff that I need to know. And so I started digging deeper after that point, learning more about being a stunt performer, training, stunt coordination, fight choreography, all those different aspects of the stunt world. And with Black Panthers, opened the door for me to star in projects that required fighting, required somebody that could do these things, right? And I didn't know I could do it because I did it in Black Panther. And opened the door for me to be a stunt coordinator and a fight choreographer also on different projects. And so really just use these skill sets. Passion made way for my purpose.
That is awesome, man. That opportunity just opened up other doors for you.
Yeah.
I again go back to the quote you said from associates about one discipline allowed you to be good in other disciplines and open up doors for you. And so now you're mastering two things that are they're high level skills.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm applying those skills and that training that I took from karate and just applying them to the acting. And that's true for anybody, no matter what it is, right? If you break it down to its lowest common denominator, right? What did it take for you to be good in this area? Your hobby, no matter what it is. If you're a baseball player, piano player, golf, writing, no matter what it was, you break it all the way down. What were the skills and abilities and the things that you took to be good in that area? And a lot of what it is just focus, determination, a willingness to get better, and practice and putting the time in. And that skill set, those things are transferable to anything.
Right.
The mind for it, the willingness to get better, and put time in and focus to get better at it. And you can do that with anything. And those skills are transferable. And that's what Musashi was talking about. He had a willingness to be a great samurai. He had a mind for it. He trained and he practiced. And he used it. And when he got done fighting, he went back into a cave to study what that was and determined to really ponder and think about, man, I had over 60 contests and I never lost. What was that? And that's what he came up with. One man can beat 10 men, because he noticed that those skills that he had in this area could be used in other areas, and he wrote about it.
So tell us about your future plans. What do you have going on now? Projects you're working on, and your plans for the future.
Really, right now, I'm just training and working out. I'm coming over that. I'm overcoming that injury, so I'm working out, training, physical therapy, getting better, just getting strong, just building back up again, leaning back into my passion, right? And just making sure I'm as fit as possible. As a stunt man, a stunt performer, you got to be fit, you got to be in shape, because your body takes a beating in some cases, because you're fighting for hours on end, take after take. You might get thrown around, so you really got to be fit. You really got to be in shape for that. So I'm really training, and I got some projects I want to do. So I got some friends really working on making and doing our own thing. So there's this expression, don't wait, create. So we're not waiting. We're working on our own projects. And so getting that off the ground. I'm writing. I got some workshops I need to put together. And I got some other stuff in the works, and we'll see how that works out. So I'm really working on getting the tools I need and put that team together to take what I'm doing in the entertainment world from here to here and really take it to the next level. And so I got the women's self-defense. I'm teaching more karate, and I'm practicing as a stunt performer and just being ready.
All right, man. And I wish you speedy recovery on that injury.
Man, appreciate it.
So tell everyone, as we get close to wrapping up, tell
Mhm.
everyone how they can get in contact. You know what? Before that, give
Yeah.
everyone some advice who may be, interested in the martial arts or in acting. Ways to start in either one of those disciplines.
Okay. In martial arts, I would say I karate found me. I had a cousin that I seen that influenced me to start practicing in the martial arts, and I wanted to do kung fu, but I really found karate. And once I started training in it, I fell in love with it. I just stuck with it, right? So for anybody looking to start martial arts, go to different dojos, go to different schools, try them out, see how you like them, and there's not one martial art that's better than the other. Find something that you like, that you're willing to put time in to become better, whether that's grappling, karate, boxing, kickboxing, no matter what it is. Find something that you like and then build from there, right? So I started off in karate, but that journey in karate has taken me to train in boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, even judo. It doesn't stop. Again, one man can beat 10 men, right? So find the art that you like, start there, get proficient in it, and if you feel like branching out to other stuff, do that. But don't try to jumble it all together. Pick one, start there, and then take it from there. Same way with acting. Les Brown gonna find me. But find an acting school in your area. Start learning about acting and the craft of it. There's YouTube videos, there's books, go to the library. Read up on it, find out more about it. There's community theater. Community theater is a great place to start. That's what I did. I started off in church, then progressed to community theater. That's a good place to start for your acting. You can start learning and starting to put to use what you're learning and progress there. And who knows, you might start off as an actor, but you'll be introduced to the other parts of filmmaking or putting on production, whether that's stage or film, with lighting, sound, writing, directing, producing. There's other avenues and there's other things that are responsible for allowing a production to be successful. So if you start with acting, be open to the other avenues of it, because I'm still acting, but now I'm fight coordinator, right? Look at that transition. But I love it because it's part of my passion. So play with it, go out there, see what you like.
Great, man. Great.
Mm-hmm.
With your passion. So
Your passion. Say again?
let everyone know how they can get in contact with you, how they can see the things that you're doing. They can see the world of Jake Wells Jr., look at the upcoming projects that you have going on.
Oh, yeah. So on social media, I'm big on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm There Goes Jay, ThereGoesJ. On there, I'll announce what I'm doing there before any place else. And my website has links to my other stuff, my speaking, my social media. And that is jwellsjr.com. Just my name. And that'll send you to my website with the links to my social media. You can find me there. And I'll be doing some women's self-defense classes. So if you're interested in that, you can hit me up on that. If you're interested in private lessons, I do that as well. I'm fight coordinating. So if you need a fight coordinator for your project because you're getting into acting, hit me up. If you got any questions about martial arts or anything I can help you can hit me up in those areas, my website or social media. There Goes Jay on Instagram.
All right, man, that's great. I'm sure everybody, there'll be a lot of people that will contact you, because a lot of people are interested in martial arts and in acting, and so
Yes.
you're someone that is in both disciplines.
Yeah.
And
Reach out to me.
let's give a Wakanda forever before we roll out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm from the Jabari tribe. So we got to do the chant. Yes, sir. Who? Yes, sir. Who? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who? Yes, sir. Who?
I messed it up.
It's all good. We're gonna practice.
All right, well, yeah, we will. I'm
Remember, determination determines destiny. So you determine.
I am, man. Hey, it was great having you all day. And we'll do it again in the near future, man. As you have some new projects coming on, we'll have you back and delve into your world again, man.
Let's do it. I'd love to come back, man. Thanks for having me on your podcast, man. I enjoyed it, man. It was fun.
It was great having you.
Man, appreciate it.
All right. This is Sid Owsley, the Determination Determines Destination podcast, where we share stories of people who use what I call the 3 Ds to success. Determination determines destination. I'm Sid Owsley, your host. I'm out. Have a great day.